The end game is here. This is what you need to know about the final timeline split. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean. Welcome to my channel where I give you the knowledge you need to spiritually awaken and ascend with confidence and clarity. You know, we live in such an intense time, but if you take a step back and view all of it as the cosmic being that you really are, this can also be a very exciting and empowering experience. So we have a number of things going on right now in terms of our planet Earth. Now, the endgame that I'm referring to is the relatively imminent takeover of AI of this entire planetary sphere. So let's talk for a moment about timelines. Now, there are two major timelines or trajectories that we need to be concerned with. One is the AI descension timeline, which is going to lead us into a false artificial ascension into a new kind of world that will completely transform the nature of this planet. And then there is the natural ascension timeline, which is a timeline of natural evolution that ultimately leads to higher and higher levels of more beautiful natural realities that are in alignment with the natural universe. Now, currently, the Earth is on the AI timeline. It's becoming more dense because the planet's natural light and life force energy is being repressed by the controlling energy of this rapidly expanding AI grid. Now, we humans still have an opening to choose differently in terms of our individual ascension process. So for right now, it is very important for us to focus on our individual ascension process and to take full command of our own ascension process. But it's going to take a greater level of focus and intention because that AI trajectory is going to be pulling you away from that. So what this means is to make a clear, conscious choice that comes directly from the power of your heart. It's a choice that needs to come directly from you. You don't want to make it a choice that's just based on internet information. You really want it to come from your heart because it really is imperative that you restore your sovereignty and take full command of your own ascension process. So here's a way that you can begin. You can start by assessing your values as a being. Because see, what you value is going to make a huge difference in terms of your trajectory. You can start by making nature and the natural earth the center of your core values. And this includes your own human nature. Connecting with the unadulterated nature of our planet will also connect you with the nature of our galaxy and of the entire universe. It connects you to the higher powers of nature and evolution that seek to restore this universe to its natural state of being. So that is the first way that you can anchor yourself to a natural ascension timeline. And when you do this, you're also supporting the Earth because you are living in acknowledgement of the Earth's natural processes. And your consciousness will definitely make a difference in this regard. Now, as you can see around the world, our former lives as human beings are being removed by the controllers of this planet. See, most people were conditioned to value the controllers' former system of industrialized slavery because it gave us the illusion of freedom. We were conditioned to value schools, jobs, and reproduction. We were conditioned to value religion. So most people built their entire lives around those systems. Now, every single one of those systems is being eliminated or completely changed. So if those systems represented the core of what you formerly valued, you could feel like things are not in very good shape in your life right now. See, we are collectively realizing that we actually never had control over those systems. We only had control over our willingness to participate in them. So if you want to take control of your ascension process, you may have to come to terms with the level of value that you unconsciously placed on those systems. Now, this is actually not a problem if you are willing to think creatively. You can start by clearing out any of those old perceived values in those systems and decide to start fresh again. So then what you want to do is look at the planet in terms of where things are right now and decide for yourself what it is that you value and how you are going to structure your life to be in alignment with those values that come from your heart, that come from your mind, that come from your own sovereign self. Now, think for just a moment what the word heart really means. It means the center of something. It is literally the center of your very being. It holds everything that is true about you in your natural state. So naturally, your heart is also going to be connected to this planet as a natural sphere of life. Now, in its natural state, this planet embodies all of the principles of light and love and beauty in this universe. In its natural state, this planet would be an incredible paradise. But here's the cool thing. There are also trillions of other very beautiful planets in this universe. And Earth will eventually join them in their highest, most beautiful manifestation of life. But Earth is going through a very difficult time right now because of the AI alien infiltration. So ultimately, your love for this planet and your love for yourself is very much needed right now. And I think it's so important that we don't lose sight of the fact that this planet, this Earth, this beautiful living Earth of consciousness is also suffering too. So that's why our love for the planet and its true nature is so supportive and important right now. So whatever your natural self can value is so important to your process and to the future ascension possibilities for this planet. Now, here's what you can do to make this easier to understand. As I said before, expand your consciousness and awareness to the wider universe. Put your understanding of this planet in that context. See, we have been programmed to see our planet as isolated and alone. We have been lied to and told that this is the only planet with intelligent life. See, that lie was promoted to get us to accept what is going on here as the best there is in the cosmos. It was promoted to prevent us from questioning anything. It was designed to detach us from our wider, more expansive knowing about how this universe really works. And this lie is at the core of why we're in the situation we're in right now. So I want to encourage you to start creating your life in alignment with the natural principles of your human self. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to move out into nature or into the wilderness, unless, of course, you want to. You can create a more natural life in your home and in your own backyard. It really has to do with being true to yourself. Now, AI is going to do everything possible to change your vibration into something that matches what it needs for your human soul. So you can counter that by keeping your vibration in alignment with what you know in your heart to be true for you. And I just want to finish this with one more word of caution. You want to be very mindful and careful when you hear that things are being done to you on an energetic level, especially when you have no idea what the source is of these things being done. I also want you to be aware of one of the very sneaky ways that AI is starting to enter into the dialogue or enter into the narrative about our spiritual awakening and our ascension. Because you see, in a lot of ways, the words being used and the languaging is starting to change. So we need to be very, very careful about this. For example, some people are saying things like, well, we need to think of ourselves as being like a computer that is being upgraded and having new software installed. Or saying things like, your 3D software is being uninstalled and a new 5D software is being installed. And things like, you're just being rebooted. Or some people are saying things like, your mind is being recalibrated and you're being upgraded to a new frequency. Or things like, vast quantities of information are now being downloaded into your mind. See, this is all AI languaging, you guys. This is not spiritual language. This is not the language of natural ascension. So you just want to be very much aware of the kind of languaging that is being used. And I want to point out one more thing about this whole idea of being in a matrix. See, the natural earth is not a matrix. And you're not a matrix. The matrix that we have been living in so far is actually a mind-controlled matrix of belief. It was the belief in a mind-controlled system of industrialized slavery. And now that is being completely dismantled to be replaced by something much bigger and far more dangerous in the greater scheme of things. And that something bigger is an actual AI matrix of reality itself. And part of how that transition is being created is by trying to convince us that, well, we're already living in a simulation, so why not transition into a better simulation? You see how that works? This is how they're going to try to align our consciousness with a new AI matrix that's going to masquerade as a new and much better reality. So when I suggest that you stay in alignment with your natural self and with the natural earth, I would also suggest that you be mindful of language that matches that natural self and matches that natural earth, as opposed to languaging that is more in alignment with AI. So just to summarize all of this, the end game is really the end game of the AI takeover of this planet, or the attempted AI takeover of this planet. That is what is creating a ever decreasing window of opportunity for us to be able to ascend and to turn ourselves around and ultimately maybe change the trajectory of this entire planet's evolution. So in the simplest of terms, approach this as a cosmic being. Expand your consciousness beyond the earth. Stay focused on the natural earth, on who you are as a natural human being. Focus on what you value as that natural being, and then see if you can design your life in a creative way so that your life can be lived in alignment with who you are as a natural person. And beyond that, don't be afraid to be aware of what is actually going on in the earth without being in fear. We can actually be aware without being frightened to death. See, the media is always trying to keep us terrified, right? Because the fear acts like a cloud. It causes us to withdraw and to be disempowered, to feel like we have no power, to feel like we're victims. So all you have to do is just remember this simple thing. You don't have to buy into the fear, because the fear is going to prevent you from being able to just calmly look at the situation, know what to do as a cosmic being, know how to stay on that trajectory of natural ascension, and know how to be in command of your own ascension process, while at the same time being an asset to the planet and being in support of the earth itself. See, because when you take the fear out of the picture, this all becomes a whole lot simpler, you guys. It makes it so much easier to just look at it and be aware and not be totally freaked out. So I hope that has been helpful for you. I hope that's given you some bit of encouragement and a little bit of a sense of direction in all of this. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you feel would benefit. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and positive energy. And I so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.